Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode we're going to be checking out a piece by the career multidisciplinary artist known as Hiroshi Nagai. This episode we're going to be talking about this really wide composition here. We're going to talk about the social aspect of virtual reality, and we're also going to talk about the retro aesthetic. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, this was actually taken from a screenshot in VR that Hiroshi Nagai actually saved and shared with us. So that's what we're working with today. So in our initial introduction, we're met with this scene, really wide composition here, and this is necessary to display such a scene, right? And so we see this as a very calm introduction. You do have a little bit of visual energy, say, in the kind of far fireworks in the background of the composition, but all in all, it is a very calm composition. There's not too many waves, not too much going on within the work at hand, so it is quite a tranquil piece. So we do see what appears to be this kind of hovering platform and two individuals here, and they're kind of just set in center. It feels like everything truly revolves around them. So when an element is placed in the center, it's always going to draw your eye. That's also very important to note. And so you see them accented here. Of course, we have this really striking white, especially compared to, say, the blue and the black surrounding region. So that certainly pops out. It accents the form, and it just makes it unforgettable, especially through placement and then that contrast as well. So all very important whenever looking at this work. And so it's hard to say, who these two subjects are. They could just be two players within the virtual reality kind of server, or what type of world that they're standing in, but all very important whenever we're taking a look at this work. And so they appear to be looking at some type of info board. It's hard to say for sure. I see what appears to be a picture, a little menu. It's hard to say for sure, but we do see two subjects kind of staring at this menu, hovering over this large kind of grand pool here. So very important. We also see our setting here, and I was looking a ton for this work. I don't think that this is an original piece by Nagai, or if it is, it's something that we haven't seen before. So there is kind of a novel or a new experience within the work at hand. And I actually, I was trying to find the closest I could get to the aesthetic here. And these are the two pieces that I found to reference. So, kind of taking a look at this, I couldn't find this original image, sadly, but this is the closest I could get. You have that kind of blue aesthetic, that wide composition, kind of city skylights. This one isn't as close to this, so we're going to put that one to the side, but I do want to take a look at this one, because certainly you see that kind of large blue sky, you see that pool in the middle, you see kind of a large flat roof, a wider composition as well, all very important whenever I look at this work. So that was the closest I could get, kind of referencing the guy's other works into this one to see if that background was kind of an original piece. But with that in mind, I think the guy actually created this as some type of novel piece that we haven't seen before. Of course, in the digital renderings, we certainly see that for sure. You need a digital rendering to put that in VR, so that's also very important to note. And so with this in mind, Nagai is an immense pioneer of the retro aesthetic. When people talk about retro art, especially retro painting, there's just so many people that note Nagai's influence. We see that kind of Miami, that Florida, kind of 80s retro neon influence. So all very important, kind of that 80s neon life. He's just an absolute master at this, and he's really known for that aesthetic. And so what I also want to call the attention to is the sky here. Of course, we don't have a solid blue. It appears to be kind of setting. We have a little bit of distant urban lights there as well. And so we also see fireworks within the spatial composition. And this is very important. It kind of covers the sky. Normally we would see the sky as quite tranquil, of course, if it wasn't filled with any type of fireworks. But all in all, quite a tranquil piece. The only energy that we're getting are from these fireworks, this kind of explosion or this burst of potential energy up in the ascendant region of the spatial composition certainly catches the eye. And so with this in mind, like I said, this is from virtual reality, whether it's a server, whether it's kind of a private world that the guy's working within. This is within virtual reality, so this is a screenshot from that. And so you see kind of a social aspect of that, right? We are in it we're within a setting here, and we see kind of two subjects. Maybe they're talking, maybe they're reading, conversing, exploring. So with that in mind, there is kind of a social aspect to the work at hand within virtual reality. We see virtual reality as something kind of reclusive, or you kind of sit in a room and kind of run away from people. That's not really accurate. You can interact with a wide swath of people within virtual reality. After all, I'm in virtual reality right now. It's quite interesting, right? So we certainly see that in it's hard to say exactly where this is, although it is in virtual reality for sure. So with this in mind, this is created with a kind of digital rendering. And so we mentioned that just a little bit. If you want to put someone in a VR world, you have to construct a kind of 3D virtually simulated environment. So we certainly see that for sure, whether it's a flat landscape or it's just a single rendering within that, certainly catches the eye. And so there's also this sense of kind of an art architect here, right? You have Nagai, who creates just these stunning paintings, these stunning works. And, he could even branch into the digital rendering. He could start creating much more three-dimensional or immersive scenes. And maybe we're looking at that here. It's hard to say for sure. Though I hope you guys enjoyed this piece. It's really, really caught my eye. It is a simple screenshot. It is a little low resolution, but I really wanted to write about it. It caught my eye, especially I believe this is our 498th piece in the Apollo Art Archive. So we got some fireworks, kind of celebrating with that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys enjoyed, go check out the original. It's going to be Hiroshi Nagai. Always doing some really good stuff. Like I said, he's known for that retro aesthetic, and it's just impossible to miss. You will likely see some of his art at least once in your lifetime. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.